Makenzie, where are you from?
Arizona.
Arizona.
Another Arizona man. What's going on, Makenzie?
Nothing. This is perfect timing because I just had to put away groceries, and I was like, oh my gosh, if they say I'm next and I'm putting away groceries, this is gonna be awful. And so I was frantically putting away groceries and like stuffing the apples in the drawer. Anyway.
Oh at least you didn't ruin everything. Like the apples are all good. They're in the fridge. You're good to go. Yeah. You're on here.
Yes. I was like, oh my gosh. And then when she said Kenzie, I kept trying to talk, and I was so confused. I was like, why isn't it working? Anyway,
You made it.
Yes. Anyway, my question is, what's like your biggest inspiration and like for you and your band? And like what helps like with the songwriting process? Like what inspires you?
Great question. Actually, I'm going to give a little shameless plug here because that's I mentioned earlier that me and the band are doing a songwriting class right now that we're recording. And so ultimately, a very in-depth, unpacked version of this will be the entirety of that class, literally. So be on the lookout for that. The best answers will all be in there because we have like a lot of time. It's very lengthy. So that really dives into showing us how we create music and in our songwriting process. But in a short version, I think for us, you always start with kind of inspiration from different places, whether that be, the bands that you're a fan of, like songs that you're listening to around the time that you start creating something. And so I think you just kind of take those inspirations and those kind of help you start writing music. And a lot of times it'll start with like Zach kind of having a lyric part that's like a melody, and then we'll start kind of riffing off of that and then adding the instruments just to kind of whatever feels right. We have a lot of different ways to write, though, to be honest. I mean, it's kind of different for every song. Usually, though, the process is we'll start writing it, lyrically, instrumentally, and then once we have kind of an overall version of it where we have the full song structure, we'll go into kind of doing like little simple demos of it and recordings, and then change stuff. And then, once we decide we want to make it do the actual like real on song, then we'll go to the actual studio and have it produced professionally when we're recording. But yeah, I think, I get inspiration from everything. I think it's always good to, whenever you get inspiration, it can kind of happen from everywhere. It's just to like write it down. If you get a little lyrical inspiration, just take your phone out, write down the thing. Or if you have like a little voice recording app, just like record a little melody if you like think of something cool, just so you save it. Because the worst thing is always coming up with something that you're like, oh, that's really cool. And then you don't do that and you totally forget it later. And you're like, oh, crap, I should have wrote that down.
I know that. I'll wake up at like middle of the night all of a sudden. I'll be like, that's the one. And I won't have my phone on. Like,
you're like, no.
I know.
So always, I think just always have something to record or at least write down lyrics, melodies on. That's probably the best tip that I could give. And the other question was, how long did it start to finish to make a song? And that is it's a very wide spectrum. That can be certain songs we've done start to finish. If you really took it hour by hour basis, like, I don't know, a few hours. Some of them take much longer than that. Some of them take like a month, or more. So it just varies from song to song. Sometimes you just have it all right away, and sometimes over the course of a long time, maybe it's even a couple years, it comes together. So yeah, it varies. It varies for every single song.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks.